Hey everyone, we're back for another workout of the day. Today is an AMRAP for 20 minutes, as many rounds as possible in 20 minutes. It is called Red Hot Sizzle. It's gonna get things sizzling. All right, so it's 10 ab rollers, 10 deadlifts, 10 push-up box jumps, 10 goblet squats. And then every 3 rounds you complete of that, you're gonna do 10 chest press hollow holds. So we're gonna go through all of those movements and the modifications, and then you can get started. Okay, so our first movement is going to be our ab rollers. So we're going to do 10 ab rollers to really get some things start sizzling up. We're going to set ourselves up in a kneeling position, take our ab roller. Now, if you don't have an ab roller, there's other things you can use to roll on. I suggest getting an ab roller because it's an awesome workout and it's cheap and easy to store at home. So all really good things that are pluses when trying to figure out exactly what kind of workout equipment you should have at home. So we're going to start and we're going to just roll forward, stopping at when you're fully extended and really using those abs to pull in, to pull out and back. You can do a half roll if you're still kind of working your way up. You can also do some inchworms. So we want to set ourselves up and we're just going to inch forward, reach out, come back. And as you're doing those movements, really squeeze the abs so you're feeling the abs. Don't just do like a loose walk out and walk back. You can also do, instead of the ab roller, you can do some crunches, but I want you to do them with your feet up, and I want you to reach to the shins and really squeeze your abs as you're doing that. Okay, so next movement is going to be our deadlift. So we'll start with a barbell and then work our way to some modifications. If you don't have a barbell at home, so we want to set up. The important thing with the deadlift is that we want to keep the barbell touching us at all times. So if it's not touching us, if we're not close, it's going to be out there and we're going to have to start using that lower back and those shoulders to pull up the weight. What we want to do is use our legs to move the weight forward and up, right? Essentially, the top of your body should just be tight. So we really want to pull that weight forward so we're not putting that pressure on our back and shoulders. So we're going to grab the barbell. We're going to have our feet about hip width apart. We're going to grab the barbell about thumb width away from the smooth part. And we can go ahead and do a mixed grip where we have one hand facing forward, one hand facing back. This just ensures that the barbell won't roll out of your hand and you're not fighting against it. We're going to come down. We're going to make sure everything's tight. So I'm squeezing my shoulders back. I'm looking straight ahead and I'm pulling that barbell into my shins and pulling my knees back so that my shins are in a nice straight line so I can keep that barbell going in a nice straight line. Once I pass my knees, I'm going to start to stand up and the barbell should just slide up. So it's going to look like this. Again, I'm keeping my back straight, chest up, shoulders squeezed together. The barbell is touching me the whole way up. A few things to keep in mind. What I see again is the barbell go too far out. So then you're using that lower back. If you start feeling that tightness, just adjust and think and pull that barbell close to your body. Also, when you stand up, I want you to stand up, lock your knees and your hips. Do not lean back at the top. Because once again, we're shifting that weight into a position where we're having to hold it in that lower back, which will then cause some issues. So really make sure that keeping the barbell close the whole time, my back is straight, my shoulders are back, and I just stand up at the top, bringing my knees back and my hips forward so that I'm in one straight line, no leaning back, no leaning forward. And that is a complete deadlift. Okay. So that's with the barbell. If you don't have a barbell, you can use things like a kettlebell, and it's going to be the same movement. Set up, and you're just going to stand up, keeping it close, keeping your back straight. You can also use a dumbbell, same motion. Okay, and if you're in the way beginning stages of your fitness journey, you can also use a band. And again, about hip width apart, you're going to grab it by the two handles that you create here, keeping that back straight and standing all the way up. It's going to feel a little bit of a short movement, so make sure you're standing all the way up, keeping everything straight and in line. I felt like I was just going to tell you something else, but now I forgot. So must not have been that important. Okay. So those are the deadlift movements. Now our push-up box jump. If you know me, you know that I'm still recovering from hip surgery, so I cannot show you a box jump, but we can kind of simulate it. Or you can do step-ups if you're not ready for a box jump either, right? So the push-up box jump, we want to come down into a push-up, push up against the box, come forward, and then you jump up on the box. You want to make sure that you're landing completely and fully on top of the box. Your feet are not hanging off the box. They're completely on the box. And you're going to stand up straight at the top. You do not want to end up in a squat, a full squat at the top. You want to be in about a quarter squat when you land and then stand up. So jump as high as you can to ensure that you're not landing in that full squat, really putting that pressure on those knees and those hips. The other thing you can do is a step up. This is what I will be doing. So I'll be pushing up, come up, and then stepping fully, completely on the box, and then step down. Again, we're going to do another push-up, step. And when we step up on the box, again, our foot is fully on the box, and we're going to step with that one leg until it's straight, and then go ahead and put the other foot on the box. So, modifications, you can take away the push-up. You can do a push-up on the ground to make it harder, and then do a box jump, kind of like a burpee box jump. You can do step-ups instead of the box jump. You can do lower, so you can set up plates to a height that you feel comfortable stepping up on. Now, if you have bad knees or bad hips, we want to make sure, again, that the height is, this is like a little bit lower, but the height should be about a 90-degree angle here, and a little bit less, again, if your knees are and hips are a little bit bad if you're doing step-ups. Right, so this is probably more about my size, a little bit higher, but that's what you're aiming for to make sure that there's not too much pressure on those hips and knees when you're doing those step-ups. Okay. The last movement of the AMRAP part is our goblet squats. So going over the squats first, we want to make sure that our feet are about hip width, slightly wider than hip width, I guess, apart. Our toes are going to be slightly pointed outward. And as we come down, we're keeping our feet completely flat on the ground. We don't want to roll up onto those toes on the heels of those feet. I mean, not the heels, balls, the balls of your feet. I just said balls, very weird. Okay, sorry. Too bad I'm not going to edit that out. Anyway, so we're going to stay flat-footed, toes slightly pointed outward, and our knees are going to come out. We want to come down to about a 90-degree angle. This is our 90-degree angle. I cannot go lower because of my hip right now. Doctor says I can't, even though I feel like I can. Anyway, doctor's orders, so I'm not going to do it. But if you are really good and you want to add a little bit extra, get down as low as you can while keeping those feet flat on the ground. So that is important. The way to keep them flat is making sure that your knees are going out instead of forward, because if they go forward, you're going to rock onto the balls of your feet just naturally, because that's where we're shifting our weight. We don't want to shift our weight. We want to keep our weight straight up and down. So by making them point out slightly, bringing our knees outwards, we're staying flat and straight, going straight up and down. Especially when we add a weight, because that's what a goblet squat is. So you can modify it and just do regular body weight, or you can take a weight and you can come down again into this position here. I'm a little bit high because of my hip. You can also use a bench if you're modifying. So you just come down to the bench. What I want you to keep in mind when you're coming down to the bench is that I don't want you to sit completely relaxed on the bench and just let yourself go. Especially when you're holding that weight, stay nice and straight up, shoulders back, squeezing that core, standing up. And when you stand up, I want you to think about pulling your knees back and your hips forward so that you're come up completely straight. We don't want to be rocking. When we're rocking, we're not getting the full use of our legs there. And it also starts making things loose, especially if you have a weight in your hand, you want to stay tight. So just think about bringing those knees back and those hips forward, and that's going to kind of stop you from that rocking motion. So you can do air squats, you can squat to a bench for modifications, or you can do regular goblet squats. Okay, so that's the AMRAP. So you're going to do 10 reps of each of those movements, and after you complete that 3 times, then you're going to go ahead and move to the chest press hollow hold. So every 3 rounds, you're going to be doing this. What is it, you ask? I will show you. So this is a hollow hold. We want to bring our hands, this is a regular hollow hold. We want to bring our hands and our legs up. So our abs are super engaged here, and we want to be pushing our back flat into the ground. So we don't want any space. Like you can test it and see if there's any space there. If you're loose, you'll be able to fit your hand under there. So we want to press into the ground. Our shoulders are off. Our back is the only thing on the ground. So we're gonna add a chest press to this just to make it even harder for you. Really engaging that core, and we're just gonna press up with the dumbbell, slow and controlled, squeezing abs. Now you can do it without a weight. You can also do it with a band, where you have the band underneath you. So I'm in that hollow hold, and I'm pressing up with the band. You can also do hollow rocks. So we're going to be in that nice hollow hold position, and we're going to rock back and forth 10 times. Now, it seems easy, but let me tell you, your abs will get a nice workout after this between those and the ab rollers. So make sure that you're really engaging that core. Make sure you have a good stretch before and after the workout. And good. Me caí, me paré, caminé, me subí, me fui contra la corriente y también me perdí, fracasé,